Y'all ready to be history?
Get started.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
To the Pro Audio Suite.
These guys are professional. They're motivated.
Thanks to TriBooth, the best vocal booth for home or on-the-road voice recording. And Austrian Audio, making passion heard. Introducing Robert Marshall from Source Elements and Someone Audio Post, Chicago. Darren Robbo Robertson from Voodoo Radio Imaging, Sydney. Tech to the VO Stars, George the Tech Whittam from LA. And me, Andrew Peters, voiceover talent and home studio guy.
Line up, learner!
Here we go.
And welcome to another Pro Audio Suite, thanks to TriBooth. It's your freedom, the golden handcuffs. And don't forget the code TRIPAP200 to get $200 off yours. And Austrian Audio, making passion heard. Now, lots of things are being heard at NAB as we cross live to George and Robert. In vocal booth.
Yeah, we are here at NAB 2024.
Hello, everyone.
We're in Vegas, baby. What happens in Vegas
stays in Vegas.
Well, not today.
Yeah, I hope the sales keep on going outside of Vegas.
That's right. But we don't want the money to stay in Vegas. We want it to go with us because we're all here to make money. That's the bottom line.
We have to admit, it's true.
It's very true.
Actually, we want to show our stuff. That's what we really want to do. And then if it makes money.
It's very Gordon Gekko of you, I must say. Yeah,
exactly. Very few people leave Vegas making
I'd
money.
be buying everybody and dismantling their companies if I was Gordon Gekko, wouldn't I?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Greedy's good.
I'm not in on that name, but I'll Google it later.
It's that movie where he's like the Wall Street guy and he just like buys other companies and destroys them, and all the union people are like, no, and he's like, fuck you, capitalism.
Yeah, so we're I'm here because of Vocal Booth, vocalbooth.com. We've done a little story about them already and what I've done with them, but I'm here because I wanted to hang out with them and meet all of their customers and help them make them into my customers.
The right decision.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And Robert is of course here with Source Elements, and he's helping to promote the launch of SourceConnect 4, which is doing some very impressive stuff.
Yeah, we got nominated for a Best in Show award. Specifically, we made SourceConnect 4, the upper end version, is going to be able to stream Atmos end to end, and that actually doesn't sound like that impressive because it's possible to stream multi-channel audio right now. But the difference is SourceConnect 4 will be able to stream all the bed, all those channels, all the objects, which could be up to like hundreds and 128, and the metadata for all those objects, so that the receiving side can render that locally for their system on the fly. And then you can do that for up to 5 connections simultaneously. So you could have a director monitoring a Atmos mix, and the stage could be on a 25 speaker system. The director could have a 12 speaker system. The producer could log in from another location and just receive on binaural. And maybe the writer logs in and they're at home and they only have 5.1. And all those things can be rendered locally for each system, so the stage doesn't have to dumb down or render down to the common denominator. Yeah, that was
mind-bending stuff.
I think we need to add a caveat to that, though. You can do all that unless you're on the Australian NBN.
Well, and if you have Andrew's internet, then all you can do is half a channel.
That's right.
South of Melbourne, not so great. Sydney, no problem.
It seems that way, doesn't it? Yeah.
So, but seriously, though, is that dependent on your connection?
Well, yeah, if you're streaming 128 channels of audio, we figure on the realistic side, you need at least 5 megs upload, but really each person, and it can add up quite a bit. So we're really talking about people with really good pipes. But the intended audience for a product like that tends to be a mixed stage for a feature film. Sure. They're sitting on top of a ton of bandwidth. And then on the home side, most people's download, I mean, you can get a gig download without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it'll take
Your average podcaster's not going to use it, let's be honest, of course.
Or you just need George's cell phone that can get a gig from
we can get on 5G here. I can get 1.2 gigabit download.
Wow.
Insane.
Wow.
Inside a building.
I'm moving to the States.
So
that's it, I'm done.
Well, I think the towers are in the building.
Yeah, no, there are definitely microcells inside this building. So it's anyway. To try to paint the picture, we are in the middle of the heart of the central hall. It's about as central as this show kind of gets. The main stage is about 150 feet in front of us, right down the hall, which has tremendous sound levels. There's music playing, there's presenters, it's all kinds of stuff going on. And yet, we can get away with recording in this noisy environment until...
Bing bong. Hello. UPS.
We have a guest. Until that door opens, you can hear the noise level.
I think we should do that again.
Yeah, let's hear that
before
again.
and after, without all the talking over it. So,
Take two.
silence.
Shh.
Open a door,
Wow.
and then close the door.
That's crazy. That's insane.
It is really good at a show floor, because I've been to plenty of booth demonstrations at shows, and it's really a hard. Like this is as bad as it gets. You know, if you were doing a sports thing, and who knows what's going on outside, maybe not NASCAR racing, maybe not.
Formula One.
But who knows? Like a football game, you could probably get away with quite a bit with some stuff like this, especially if it's, off, in the place in the right place.
Yeah.
Well, we've got another folk.
There's Freddie.
Another folk here. Yeah. Another folk. Freddie Gaetely, which we've spoken to before.
You betcha.
He's here. How you doing, Freddie?
No, I'm doing awesome.
He's the reason well, at least I'm here. And that's the reason why we have this booth
That's
here.
why we have the booth.
How many years of NAB for you now?
This would be, when was my first one? In 2012, 2013? I think so. Yeah.
So that was after we teamed up, because Guy was the first one that we teamed up with you guys.
we were. I just, my Calvin, our owner, just sent me a photo like a couple days ago, and it happened to be the one that we were down there, and it said Source Elements here is 2015.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's not been a while, man. 2015.
And I've been coming to these spottily over the years, but I'm so glad that I came to this one, because the quality of the people that attend NAB are top notch. I mean, these folks are not just, creatives, but they're like education directors, station directors, managers, just incredible high-level people here, and they understand the value of this thing. The first thing I'm always impressed by is when you tell them what this is a big booth. We're in 8x10?
Yeah, this one's an 8x10 Platinum Plus, or a double wall with an extra layer of mass-loaded vinyl.
Yeah, and if we were at a music convention, you might tell them the price and a sticker shock might roll over their face, but not at a show like this, because people understand the value of what this thing does.
What's something like this, like 15,000 or 10,000?
Yeah, so the basic one of this one would go out as seen here at an 8x10, and the Platinum double wall, including all the shipping, be 23,000 shipped. And
the shipping is like $2-3 grand on the
Big
top
chunk of it.
It's pretty stiff, but we pay for the shipping, so that's your out the door price.
That's what I love. These guys price everything shipped in the U.S., which really takes away any of the mystification of what stuff really costs.
Yeah.
And like parts and materials and someone to build it, you're spending that much money at least, and then double it for the frustration.
I've done a lot of custom studio designs and builds with contractors, and it's excruciating.
Yeah.
Excruciating. Like one of the things I get hired to do so often is, should I build or buy? Mm-hmm. And the build argument is so strong now more than ever, because construction's so damn expensive. Mm-hmm. It's very frustrating to deal with contractors. Not that they're bad people. Mm-hmm.
They don't understand the details of, like, I even did it now, and I had my contractor, I said, put these little rubber pads underneath the floor, blah, blah, blah. Do not screw the new subfloor to the old floor. What did they do?
Yes.
Yeah.
1,000 screws in it. By the time I got home from work, it's like, it's done. Now my floor is coupled, and I didn't want it coupled.
You can spend gobs of money, way more than this thing, for something this size, and then have one mistake, one screw go through a timber, short out the build, and it's ruined. You ruin the whole thing.
That's coupling.
Yeah. One of the things too that I've had clients and stuff in the past is they've called us. They were already pretty well down the road with somebody, and then they were like, "I'm just going to see about having some, a prefab," and we came in. They're like, "Oh, you guys are a third the cost, and you can have it here this month."
Yeah.
Game on. Let's go. And then that was the other big thing for them too, is they were like, "Hey, I'm not modifying my real estate. So this is not going to be something I have to try and resell this pool house with a recording studio in." It's like, we just take it out.
That's a huge part of the argument.
Right. You have to include that cost, which is, once you want to sell it, you've now modified some basement room to something that people don't want, and then you got to put it back, and that'll cost you at least half as much to undo it all.
Yep.
I know. Watching Joe Cipriano's custom-built studio I designed 15 years ago essentially be dismantled and destroyed because the people that bought the house don't need it was rather heartbreaking.
I was going to say, if there's one way to devalue your property, build a studio. I'm not joking.
Unless you're very lucky.
Yeah, unless you actually you're just lowering the pool of people that want to buy your house on resale. It's like, seriously, I had a real estate agent, and I was talking about building my studio and this and that, and I was like, definitely do not get rid of that bathroom. But all in all, I was like, you're devaluing your property by building this huge studio in it. And it's like, well, I'm not moving in my case. But if you don't know, or you're buying an investment house and you might be planning on selling it, building a studio in there will cost you at least as much as a prefab booth. It will cost you more to get rid of it, and you will be frustrated by the whole process, and it will take you longer.
It's a serious commitment.
Yeah. What's even wild, too, is that recently schools have been getting into that, too. I had one school that built an entire second story out of an acoustic floor just to be able to put our booths in on top of that, so that they didn't have to later demo all the sheetrock, and all the studs and everything. They're like, let's just put 17 big booths up here, make it look like it's all one structure, wood veneered, and wire all the HVAC and everything into it. But later we can just get rid of it.
Do you know one of the best tricks I've seen? You buy a booth, okay, and then you just build the simplest wall in front of the booth, and the whole thing looks like it's built into the house, and it's only been one wall with one stud and one layer of drywall, and it looks like Joe Cipriano's place, practically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, gents down there in Australia,
Yes.
what do you guys have in mind? What do you want to know?
Well,
about?
I actually have a quick question about the booth you're in, because every Aussie and every Englishman is asking, yeah, it's great, 23 grand in the States, but if I want one down here, what's shipping going to cost me? And I'm ballpark.
Funny you brought that up. Because
$50,000, 100,000 Australian.
What's
The conversion rate is awful.
it fluctuates.
we've been seeing NAB is very international, right? So there are people from Qatar, Dubai, Europe, and you guys, did you ship something overseas not too long ago?
Well, even just thinking about Australia, is just this last year we did University of Sydney down there, and we did containers full down there, and they did a whole room full of booths and stuff. So, logistics are the big thing down there. So if it's something going to Sydney or going to a port city, that's not too big of a deal.
Right.
We have really good air options. We have really good freight options for the ocean options as well. And if we do a full container down there, it's really easy. We can even get that dropped off at the place, and then it's almost like having a trailer.
So we're talking group orders, maybe. Get together and do a group order or something, then fill a container.
Yeah, exactly. We can always use somebody consolidating stuff over there. So,
so the shipping, the 23,000 for this booth shipped, that's continuous U.S. states, or is that?
Yep, that's going to be anywhere where we don't have to cross borders, because then once we do get into like Canada, of course, we've got all the tariffs and fees and stuff that has to go in there, and somebody has to be grabbing it on the other side. It's funny how it's really not sometimes that much more. Sometimes it's like an extra $150 on our freight side to get it over there, and that's if they're taking care of all the tariffs and all the import duties. We can do that. We can act as brokers for people too, though, and make it pretty easy. But again, it just depends on the level of the
It's
booth.
a really world market now. I mean, we are doing build outs in the U.S. where the windows and doors come from China. This is not unusual.
Yeah.
This is all happening right now. So things moving between continents is not nearly. Now, I know there was a little problem.
Besides missiles?
Yeah. ICB vocal booth. Intercontinental ballistic vocal booth.
I'm sorry. It just crossed my mind. I don't know what. Sorry.
Filters.
Yeah. So no, it's not unheard of. Would you buy maybe a little one-off 4x4? I don't know. It depends on because you're sharing a container when you're doing like one booth.
Yeah, and we do international crates, and so we can get it, priced out just for a crate. The hard thing is that is even a fluctuating market. So we've seen all of a sudden, it'd be dirt cheap, like where we can get something down there for $1,200 shipping, but then we'll see it like just absolutely spike. Like, of course, we saw weird things during the whole COVID pandemic, like ships that were just sitting out there with stuff rotting on it. And so it was just astronomically up and down, so you never really knew. But we do really quick turnarounds on quotes. So that's something that it's all up front. Like, order the booth and then find out how much shipping is going to be. Once somebody's happy with the way that the quote is, they're ready to go ahead and move to the next level. we're on the phone with our logistics guys, and we got it done. So
AP's just texted me. He'll take a container load, please.
Yeah, right.
right away.
When you're all done with the container, you can just line it with double wall and make a booth out of the container.
Yeah, there you
Maybe
go.
we should, or maybe we should line it with other things to pay for it.
Yes, there you go. Exactly.
I think this just became evidence.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Hello, ASIO, if you're listening. Yes.
Yeah. So what's your biggest market? Is it people like myself, like a voiceover talent, or is it more studios, like as in, commercial studios?
I'm guessing it's broadcasters and production companies.
Yeah, it's funny. Our biggest market probably, if we wanted to talk just dollar-wise, it's going to be education and corporate even testing. So those are the biggest ones that are getting really big booths. So some of these will be 16 by 32 feet and 9 or 10 feet tall. Some companies like Medtronics or Philips Respironics or something, they'll be doing really big production stuff and want to move all their testing stuff inside because they're in a bigger factory. And so this is something that they can pop up right in a factory, bolt to the floor in there, and have a whole way of stuff coming in and out.
Don't bolt it to the floor. You're going to couple it, and then you're going to get all those vibrations through the...
Yeah, and so again, what they're all about is they don't need an anechoic chamber, but what they need to do is have all that equipment out there and bring it down to a level that's good enough for their testing inside. And so even inside of that big booth will be other booths.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a big crazy thing. But again, to bring a level down to another level and to another level. Also, we've been doing a whole lot of stuff with like Apple and Amazon and stuff too in their testing departments, and that's just one of the most consistent things that we have. And then
What kind of stuff do they need?
A big thing that we designed for them is custom testing enclosures, and so this will be stuff to test all of their small. I don't know what my NDA can let me say, but y'all know what Apple
devices
makes.
that they
y'all
make.
know what Apple branded devices about the size of an iPad or the size of
Generally portable things.
Yeah, portable. So a lot of stuff in the testing facilities where they'll want to stack up like maybe 15 or 20 of these and have run localizations on all of those and not have them talk to each other. So they don't need like an insane level of isolation, but enough to where they're just not straight talking to each other, or maybe even like speaker arrays or weird things on the inside. And then even up to that, to like booths that are this size that they can go in and then have stuff kind of bounce around. Even we do a lot of stuff like in the broadcasting world and stuff too, like the Nielsen Corporation, the Nielsen ratings and stuff too, where they build living room sets inside of our booth. So they have big 16 by 32 sets.
Wow.
And they're all dressed out and they have robotics arms and stuff, but they can build all those living room sets, put all their listening devices in there and then run all the tests around. And they have like, I can't remember, they run like 32 of their own little TV stations in the back. And so they can broadcast to their own little not closed circuit, but just a very small power thing, and then test how this works across all of their TV stations and what it sounds like in this living room and what it sounds like in that living room and if this thing is working and stuff.
Wow.
So
Wow.
again, that's the crazy thing about Vocal Booth is that we never know who's going to call and stuff. So we do get the people that, I'm an
And
up
you
and coming.
rarely say no, it sounds like.
We pretty much we'll say no to very little. Yeah, exactly.
Do parents ever call and they just want to put their kids in the booth?
Actually, okay. So recently, I did get a call, and somebody wanted one for. They wanted one of our amp boxes that would perfectly fit a dog crate. And so they could put their dog in there because the dog had anxiety issues.
Oh, wow.
And he could be put in there, and we have ventilation and everything. And that crate slid right in there, and the dog could sleep in a nice, very quiet environment when they went to work. And then we had later one that somebody bought a 3-carat diamond for their parrot. So that thing was driving people crazy, and the neighbors crazy when they go to work. And so they bought that. And I don't know. I mean,
You don't ask questions.
Polly's got a booth.
we just don't say no.
Back to the dog crate one though. It's school holidays here, so I'll take 4 of those, please.
Absolutely. And they stack nicely. You bet.
Yeah, nice one.
What, the children or the booths?
The serial killer. Did the serial killer want an environment to do his thing in a less?
Okay.
Get out.
There.
We've all been eating Las Vegas hotel food for too many days in a row.
Haven't had that customer yet.
There was somebody who wanted their entire bedroom put in one.
Oh wow!
We did that. So
Wow.
Crap.
What were they getting up to in there then, I wonder?
Yeah.
I don't think I didn't ask, but I don't think it was all about what kind of sound was coming from the inside, but from the outside. So that's okay. They're actually, it was one of the writers on Jimmy Fallon's show, and they were like, I get done writing after the last show is done, and we get too busy, and I might not get home until 8:00 in the morning and done writing, and then I'm in Manhattan, and this is a nightmare stuff. So sent a booth, and from our booths, they can all be built from the inside out. They have nice ventilation and everything. So he just built it right into his bedroom, and then threw all the bedroom set and everything aside.
That's very interesting. Your booths can be built from the inside out. You can put the floor in a corner, and you're not screwed. You can put it in the corner. You don't have to like build it in the middle of the room and then shove it in the corner.
That's huge.
I have built enough booths that's a big deal. Like I didn't even realize that. That's really
that's huge.
Yeah, we put all the stuff on the inside because so many places you want to maximize your maximize your space. Yeah. And so some people will even they just have an alcove like that. That's a big thing with corporations and stuff too. They're like, we've been given the area where the printer used to be, and that's our recording studio now. And so no problem. As long as you get there from the front. Build all the sides, and even with really short ceilings, we can build it right up to within like 2 inches of the ceiling, and then slide in, the ceiling panels so that you don't have to go up and above and lay them down, and then put that final wall in there. And
that's a really big deal.
It is.
It's building booths is building your own built-in booth is really frustrating, but it's still a task. What is it? I mean, it's gonna I'm sure you guys can put this thing together in 2 hours or something. Mm-hmm. But if you're first time on this, you're going to spend the day building this thing.
Yeah, at least the day. Yeah. How good you are with instructions and how far it is you have to bring the panels or whatever. And it just depends on the people and how
it's like going to IKEA.
I was just there yesterday.
Very heavy IKEA.
Insulated with roll mops. Yeah.
Okay, so funny enough, IKEA has actually become one of our clients this last year. Isn't that great? And we just sent him one of those little wrenches.
Yeah. We seem to have lost our Allen key.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's right. Or you've got a few left over. It's like,
what do I do with this?
I missed? Yeah.
Don't lean on that wall.
Dear.
You guys don't mind? I've got some clients and stuff to see out here too, but it's great talking to you guys down there, and always a pleasure. So,
Freddie, thank you for letting us
enjoy the course, man.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Love having these guys around, and it's been fun.
Thanks, Freddie. Cheers, man.
Thanks. Cheers.
Now listen to the door.
Here we go. Let's hear it again.
Seriously, it's good.
That's very good.
It is good. That mic is doing good too. From the distance, it's picking him up really clearly. It's hard to tell how it really is when you're the speaker.
Yes.
But when you turn it on him, it's good.
For most of you are probably only hearing the show. This was really an audio show today, and we are using the Austrian Audio OC707. I promised I would make this my on the road mic.
It's a tighter polar pattern than the OC8, I think, right?
I think so. So we're right now. Robert and I are equidistantly across from the mic, and it's still getting both of us, but it's a little more diffuse, right?
Yep.
It's not quite as focused.
It's got a good presence. That's even more presence. I hear that, and that's just rotating the mic 30 degrees or something.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
It's definitely not. It's not a wide cardioid. It's a more narrow, maybe almost hyper.
I think it might be hyper. I don't know, but I think it's doing well.
Yeah. It's weird because in this booth we have other mics. We have some Earthwork ethoses and we have some other gear. But I opted just to go single mic handheld, which sounds old school and weird. But the nice thing about that is I can essentially engineer this. So I'm controlling and mixing manually. This is an old school thing. But I'm literally mixing the three of us. And because we have one mic, we don't have to worry about phasing and crosstalk. Yep. We can get away from the glass. This booth has a lot of glass because it's all about showing off. And it's working out really well.
It's funny you should talk about mics, though, because the file I sent to you that was done in the back of the car with the Austrian Audio CC8, I sent to one of the engineers at Big Radio Network here. And he said, what mic is it and where did you record? I told him CC8 with a MicPort Pro in the back of my car. And his reply was, nuts. Absolutely nuts. He couldn't believe it.
Right.
Yeah.
So from now on, you're doing all your sessions from your car?
That's right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Good.
Well, I got to say, so I don't know how much time you've had to really see the joint. I've only walked one lap of the central hall briefly because honestly, I've had so much to do here.
I've not had a chance. I mean, I walked one row down, so just the aisle we got a pretty good booth spot, so we're on like a main aisle, but I just got to go all the way down and back, and I did see one thing that was really impressive. So do you know what a video wall is?
Yeah.
Like an LED screen that bolts together and is modular?
Not quite. More like, okay, you used to shoot stuff on green screen. But why shoot it on green screen when we already have the whole background shot?
Yep. Oh, yes.
So now they have this thing. It's a $4,000 box, which is like, this is like $1 million shit. And now it's like $4,000 box. You can build the whole environment virtually, or if you go through a bigger process, you can shoot it all from multiple angles. It'll stitch together. Then you shoot it with an iPhone or some camera that has a, like the same thing that you use for VR. So wherever you move the camera, the video behind you moves in the exact same way, so you get the same angle and all the parallax. And not only that, the thing controls all the lights that you set up around it, so if you turn it to a place where you say this is dark, the lights will go down. And
whoa.
Yeah, well, this is $1 million stuff. Like I don't know exactly how much the real deal stuff is, but this is like $4,000. I think.
Wow. I remember seeing it here the last 4, 5, 6 years ago, and it was extremely like science fiction and extremely expensive, and it's accessible. And so what do they call it? Virtual sets, right?
Well, it's more than a virtual set, but yes, it's a virtual set. But now I thought they call it a video wall or something, and it just negates the need because a virtual set, you're sitting there just looking at a green screen. But on this thing, the actor's like running around doing this thing, and they look behind. And if there's a character, they can make eye contact with the screen. They can act and feel it much more than pretending that they're talking to a green screen and imagining what's there. Well, they can focus their eyes in the right places.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of guys I know here who set up a thing called Dream Screen, which you can Google, and that's the same thing. But they've got massive sets with the whole back of the set is a giant video wall, and they've shot a lot of films there. In fact, they were up for Metropolis, the remake of Metropolis, the Fritz Lang film.
Yeah, it's
wow,
but it's that except bring your own screen.
Yeah,
but they said it will work with projectors, so you can stitch together multiple projectors and fill a, who knows how big of a wall.
Well, they did a big thing here. One of the first things they did was a series called Fires. It was all about the bushfires, a drama, and they of course could actually, have the fires actually happening with the actors on set on the screens. So the actor, even though they had like the car there was on fire or whatever they had, blah blah blah, but they had the screens in the background. So the actor felt like they were actually in the middle of a bushfire.
Whoa!
Yep.
Wow! So
this is the kind of thing you see at NAB.
Yeah.
It's all the traditional stuff like mics, camera booms, but you're seeing way more of this virtual type production. There are apparently 150 different classes here on AI stuff alone, because there's a huge amount of education that comes along with it. We're just here for the expo. We're here to sell, but there's a huge education component of NAB.
I mean, that's the problem with being an exhibitor is that you can't
do everything.
You can't see all this stuff. It's like it takes, and NAB you can probably do it'll take you at least 2 days or 3 days to really see everything.
And your feet are going to kill you.
Yeah, CES is insane. You'll just shoot yourself when you're done. But as an exhibitor, you get to stand on your feet all day, but you only get to see your own stuff because you're so busy.
Yeah, so I haven't seen anything too revolutionary. There's another company here that does soundproof windows, which I've known these guys forever, called literally Soundproof Windows.
What do you know?
And they have an entire Connex shipping style container that they've converted into a quiet space so they can show off all their doors and windows. And it is damn impressive. As quiet as it is in here, takes it down another 10 to 15 dB.
But that's like a whole nother level. That's
that's probably a 100,000 plus install.
Yeah, you're not shipping that to a residential place, and you're not building that on your own in a day.
This thing's on a flatbed truck. It's trailered in, and they've used it at NAMM show and stuff like that. I'm staying a whole extra day tomorrow just so I can start seeing things that I haven't been able to see.
Yeah.
Because
if you lose weight,
it's impossible to lose weight here.
That's
dude.
my problem, actually.
A $6 order of onion rings at the Westgate is enough to feed like a starving family.
Yeah, and then don't even talk about the buffets.
Oh, jeez. I ate a $30 omelet this morning because it was a buffet, and all I wanted was the damn omelet.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Vegas, right?
Well, let me tell you, I mean, we just had the Sydney Royal Easter Show here, which is like our big carnival of the year, I guess, in Sydney. A cup of lemonade was $18.
What?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, $18 for a cup of lemonade.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I want to mention is that, again, we've been talking about Source Elements and their new product. We're using Nexus right now as our communications portal. So we're all communicating real time over Nexus. And we're using SourceConnect 3.9 because that's the version we have currently installed.
Yeah.
3.4 just dropped. But we're using that. And the amazing thing is we're doing all that on my laptop, right? Which is running on a battery. I don't even have it plugged in. We're using a MicPort Pro, which is also running on batteries. And we're using a hotspot on a phone, connecting all this via wireless to a mobile, a mobile data connection, and we're doing all this.
Which that is mind blowing because I've been to so many of these conventions where usually you have to come in with 3 separate cell phone connections, and you do what's called bonding them into one. When you get 100,000 people here with their cell phones, the towers just bog down to a crawl, and you have to brute force it with 3 parallel connections. You're just doing it like a pedestrian. Turn on my hotspot.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
If you're on Verizon here, you're in good shape. If you're on T-Mobile, you're pretty well screwed. Because Verizon
which I should mention, the Source Elements booth is using a Verizon connection, which they were very gracious to provide us with, and we hooked up, and it was a gig. And I was like,
gigabit, gigabit connection on wireless.
Wow.
So we've been just leveraging all this technology to do shows from here. We've been recording from this booth. This is my 4th podcast since I've gotten here. And it's just incredible what we can pull off these days. And,
And by the way, everyone, I like to point out that this, in a show floor that's really loud, is much better than most of the audio I give.
Yes, indeed.
This is a true fact.
It is.
Actually, talking about the amount of bandwidth you've got there, I'm just looking at my hamster, and he's giving me the hairy eyeball saying, give me a break, I'm puffed out.
Yeah, so it's been great, guys. So I'm watching a ton of people outside the booth that are like circling. They want to come in and
they're going to start huffing and puffing and like
they're being
tutting and rolling their eyes. Is that what's going on?
We'll put a No. There's just people that want to come in.
Right.
So.
And I need to go huff and puff.
You do.
HR puff and stuff. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
All right, we're out.
Yes. Yeah, puff some stuff, more like.
Well, that was fun. Is it over?
The Pro Audio Suite, with thanks to Tribooth and Austrian Audio, recorded using SourceConnect, edited by Andrew Peters and mixed by Voodoo Radio Imaging with tech support from George the Tech Whittam. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join in the conversation on our Facebook group. To leave a comment, suggest a topic, or just say g'day, drop us a note at our website, theproaudiosuite.com.